into the room prepared. You've rehearsed your numbers, you've anticipated their objections. You open your mouth and the deal still slips away. Not because your words are weak, because your assumptions already in the room were stronger than anything you said. Most people prepare their message. The elite prepare the assumptions others will make about them before they even speak. Today we're talking about the silent saboteur that kills more influence, negotiations, and leadership moments than any single bad sentence ever could. Unspoken assumptions. And I'm going to show you how exactly to stop being their victim and start using them as leverage. Here's what actually happens in high-stakes conversations. The other side doesn't just hear your words. They instantly run those words through their own mental model. Their assumptions about your status, your intentions, your competence, your agenda, even your character. You say, let's explore this partnership. You hear, or they hear, he needs this more than we do. Or this is a low priority play for them. You stay silent for a moment to think. They assume he's unsure, he doesn't have the answer. You push back on a term. They assume he's difficult, this is going to be painful. These assumptions form in milliseconds, often before you finish your first sentence, and once formed, they filter everything that follows. This is why two people can have the exact same conversation and walk away with completely different realities. One thinks it went well, the other is already drafting the thank you or thanks but no thanks email. The dangerous part, most of the assumptions are never voiced. They operate in the background like malware on the deal. And the more intelligent or experienced the people in the room, the more sophisticated and stubborn their assumptions become. Smart people are especially good at building elegant mental models that feel like facts. That's the competence trap in another form. You're so busy proving how smart you are with your words that you never notice the assumptions quietly dismantling your authority. I learned this the hard way in briefings where lives and missions depended on sharing or shared understanding. We would spend hours on the slides and the data, but the real work was managing what the commander already assumed before he walked in. Was this routine update or a crisis? Was the briefer confident or covering something? Was the information complete or filtered? The slides never changed the outcome as much as the assumptions did. The same dynamic plays out in every boardroom, every negotiation, every performance review, and every pitch. You're not just communicating information, you are always communicating inside someone else's existing story about you. If you don't actively shape that story, it shapes itself, usually against you. So how do you stop being sabotaged and start using this? You run an assumption audit before the conversations, not during. Here's the practical version I teach executives. Step 1, surface their assumptions. Before the meeting, write down the 3 most dangerous assumptions the other side is likely carrying about you or the situation. Be brutally honest. Status, motive, competence, agenda. If you can't name them, you're flying blind. Step 2, decide which ones to confirm or disrupt. Not every assumption needs to be challenged. Some you want to keep. The key is intentionally. Do you want them to assume you have all the leverage or that you're collaborative? Do you want them to assume this is urgent or that you have options? Then design your opening 60 to 90 seconds, say, to either reinforce the useful assumptions or quietly dismantle the damaging ones. Step 3, use preemptive language and behavior. This is where it becomes a weapon. Instead of starting with your position, start by naming or shaping the frame. Something like this. I know this looks like we're coming from different places on timeline. Or, You're probably assuming we need this closed by end of quarter or something like this. Before we get into numbers, let me be clear on what success looks like from our side. You don't have to be manipulative. You have to be deliberate. Silence can also be a weapon here. A deliberate pause after you name an assumption often forces them to reveal or adjust theirs. Step 4, audit mid-conversation. The best operators do a quick internal check every few minutes. What assumptions did I just reinforce or create with that last statement? If the answer surprises you, correct course immediately, cleanly, without over-explaining. Most people lose deals and influence not because their arguments are weak, but because their assumptions running underneath were never addressed. The people who consistently win at the highest levels don't just speak with intent. They make sure the assumptions in the room are working for them. Start with one meeting this week. Before you walk in, do the assumption audit on the other side. Then deliberately shape the first 90 seconds around it. You'll feel the shift immediately. The words matter, but the assumptions decide what those words are allowed to mean. Until next time, speak with intent.